Who is Angel Akinwale? Angel Akinwale is a resilient wife and mother of 8 who has triumphed over numerous challenges in life. Instead of allowing her adversities to defeat her, she has embraced their purpose and vulnerability, using her own experiences to heal and transform others and communities through faith, hope, and love. With a diverse professional background spanning over 20 years in business management, including government contracting and real estate, Angel has recently chosen to retire from corporate America and pursue her entrepreneurial aspirations. A survivor of domestic violence for over 2 decades, she is now dedicated to giving back to her community by sharing her story, providing resources, and raising awareness about mental health and self-care. Angel's past journey in life has led to the birth of Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated, encouraging healing from the inside out. I am honored and privileged to welcome the president and founder of Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated, and host for today's virtual empowerment workshop, Mrs. Angel Akinwale. Please unmute yourselves and give a warm round of applause as Angel takes the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I do appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out of your busy day to join this virtual empowerment workshop. I am your host and president and founder of Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated, where we are encouraging healing from the inside out. Our organization, DSF Inc., is a faith-based nonprofit organization designed to provide services and programs to Maryland and Washington, D.C. surrounding domestic violence, mental health, conflict resolutions, youth empowerment, and personal development. Our mission is to generate awareness while healing and transforming lives. Our vision is to be the leading faith-based nonprofit organization in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, providing communal resources and programs and services surrounding our causes, which is domestic violence, mental health, conflict resolutions, youth empowerment, personal development. Our core values are spirituality building, healing, hospitality, unity, integrity, the love of people, serving others, enriching lives, and faith. We have several services and programs that we offer the community, case management programs and enrichment programs for each of our causes, domestic violence, mental health, conflict resolutions, and youth empowerment. Our case management programs pretty much consist of advocacy, counseling services, referral services, legal and housing for domestic violence victims and survivors, conflict resolutions and empowerment, as well as personal development. We have enrichment programs as well, readily available for the community. I am your host, again, Angel Akinwale, the president and founder of Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated. I'm also a motivational life coach. Here's my contact information. If you would love more information about our organization, or if you just have any questions, comments, need additional information, want to request partnerships or potential partnerships, here's my information. Please screenshot, write it down. I'm here to service you. Without no further ado, I would like to move forward to our first section of this program, which is domestic violence and or abuse. I have the pleasure of bringing to the stage next, Evangelist, a self-love coach, author, motivational speaker. She has a strong passion for women's ministry. Please help me welcome to the stage, Coach Lakisha Jenkins.
Hello. So I am going to be speaking on domestic violence and abuse on today. I want to talk about 3 different things. What is domestic violence and abuse? I want to describe types of abuses and share some statistics. What is domestic violence and abuse? It's a pattern of behavior in a relationship that is used to gain or maintain power or control over an intimate partner, or it can be violent or aggressive behavior in any type of relationship. Basic types of abuses. The abuse can be first physical, it can be sexual, emotional, economic, psychological action, or it can be a threat. Behaviors. may be frightening, intimidating, terrorizing, manipulating, hurtful, blaming, injuries, or wounds. Those are the things that stand out, behaviors, the violent things that makes it become domestic. So when we're talking about domestic violence, we have to evaluate the type of relationships that we have, not just intimate partner or spouses or mates, but also when it comes to those family relationships, it can happen on either side. So this is just some information just for you to evaluate and eliminate. I would say eliminate and become more aware of what domestic violence is and the type of abuse that is tagged along with it. Some statistics I want to read from the string. Family and domestic violence is a common problem in the United States, affecting an estimated 10 million people every year. As many as 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men are victims of domestic violence. Domestic violence has severe physical, emotional, and psychological impacts on survivors and their children. Many cases of domestic violence go unreported due to fear, shame, or lack of resources and support. Domestic violence accounts for 15%, I lost a little bit, 15% of all violent crimes in the United States. Approximately 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. And I just wanted to read some that I pulled up on my own. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men have been injured by an intimate partner. And then 1 in 10 women have been raped by an intimate partner. I will share a little of my personal testimony is that I experienced the loss of losing a 14-year-old son to domestic violence, October 19th of 2015. Someone I was recently gotten involved with had mental issues that I was not aware about. And both of my sons were attacked. My 14-year-old son was attacked, and my oldest son was probably like 20, early 20s at the time. He was stabbed in the shoulder, my oldest son. My youngest son was stabbed in the heart and never survived. So I have survived and had to bring myself back to life through my journey of domestic violence. Many different challenges. It's been a rough journey. However, God has given me the strength to keep going and build myself back up. I want to share with you that the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. So domestic violence, what is it? The abuse factors, the type of abuses, the behaviors, the statistics, those are some of the things that are attached to domestic violence that I wanted to present today on my part. Am I good to go to the next topic, Angel?
Yes.
All righty. I will also be sharing with you today on mental health. Mental health. I will start by saying mental health has been, as I just shared, which is attached, and God set this up really great, with having a journey of domestic violence and having to be challenged with mental health. I was challenged with PTSD. I was challenged with heavy depression. I was challenged with anxiety, all in which I was able to focus with no medication whatsoever. So with talking about mental health, I understand the journey. I understand the toughness of it and the willingness that has to be built for you to be able to bring yourself through it. Keys to to overall well-being, mental health is as important as physical health for our overall well-being. Good mental health promotes resilience, productivity, and positive relationships. Mental health affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act on an everyday and on a daily basis. 1 in 5 adults in the US experiences a mental health illness in any given year. Untreated mental health illnesses can lead to an increased risk of chronic physical conditions and impaired functioning. Taking care of our mental health is essential for a living, fulfilling, and balanced life. Again, some of the things that I would like to attach to that information, some takeaways that I looked up. 21% of adults are experiencing at least one mental illness. 55% of adults with a mental illness have not received any treatment. 5.44% of adults experience severe mental illness. Over 12.1 million adults have reported serious thoughts of suicide. And for me, again, mental illness, mental health, I want to say not mental illness, mental health, the whole aspect of being able to survive overall. I have been challenged with that. It's what you dedicate that's going to keep you sustained and keep you balanced, and to just keep you in the right spot. The energy that you give to yourself, the effort that you give to the journey that you are trying to manage through means everything. Everything that's attached to you, your environment, the people that you allow in your space, the choices that you make, the things that you do, all of that is attached to our mental health, if we believe it or not. As the slide said in the beginning, it's just as important as physical health. Everything that we would do to eat the right foods, to go to the gym, to pray, to whatever we would do physically to keep ourselves on target, the same way that we have to think when we think about mental health. We have to sit and we have to do self-reflection. We have to do self-awareness. We have to have that one-on-one talk with us, because everybody's needs and everybody's journey and everybody's process is going to be different because the effects are different. So we have to remember that mental health is just as important as physical health. We have to do whatever is possible to keep us right, especially for those of us that are parents, that are spouses, that are mates, those of us that are in leadership, that have titles. We have people depending on us. So we have to make sure that we are sustained in the best mental health, not just physical health, but best mental health, just as possible, just to continue to going, continue to go, continue to just blossom and make the best. But beyond the challenges and the tests that may come, mental health it can be challenging. It can be very, very challenging. But again, it's about the effort that you put in. It's about the process that you become willing to, and everything else that's attached. Again, I'm just looking at the words again, where it was just talking about mental health is actually what you feel, it's what you think, it's what you do. It surrounds all of that. So that is the mental health piece for me. I hope that you enjoyed the mental health piece, and do whatever you need to make sure that your mental health is the best, just as your physical health. And I will be welcome to the stage the next guest, which is Abraham Akinwale. He's going to present to you with the topic conflict resolution, his specialties, human resources, human resources, my screen kind of, he's a consultant and I cannot see it, y'all, I'm sorry. Oh, business development, sorry, specialties, human resources, business development, and a consultant. So I welcome him to the stage.
Thank you so much, Coach Jenkins. Really appreciate that. That was so powerful. And I just want to say before I start this session that if anybody have any questions, please note them down. You will definitely have your time to ask your questions, and we'll definitely be able to interact with each other. I'm very glad to present to you this particular session during this workshop, and I hope everybody is enjoying themselves. Today, I'm just going to be talking about conflict resolution, which is a very, very important thing we need in our society today, because for every human being at this stage, even animals, there is a form of relationship and communication that occurs at every point in time. The only way you don't relate and communicate with another individual or another object, for us, much better, another individual, is if you live in isolation. And for the majority of us, we are blessed that we have people around us, either in our families, either in our workplaces, either in our place of worship or whatever we do, even when we go out to the stores to eat, supermarket, and all those things, we have the ability and the opportunity to interact with other people, which is part of the things that make us individuals, that make us humans, right? Which is very important. It's actually one of the things that help our mental health, because people that live in isolation, they tend to go crazy over time, So being able to relate with people is so important for us human beings, and for us to be able to build and grow, and for us to do things better in life. Now, the good thing and the bad thing of human relations is that no matter how good a person is or how bad a person is, the fact that you relate means that you will not always agree, because we are all different. We all have different perspectives to life. We all think differently. We all have different backgrounds, different ethnic groups, different educational experiences, different work experiences, different ideas to the way we see life. We are brought up with different parents from different cultures. So, because of all of these variants that occur in our individual lives, when you talk and communicate with another person, there's bound to be a friction. Everything is not always going to go smooth. And why I said the good thing and the bad thing is that because we all come from all those different aspects of life, the good thing is we are able to see things from different perspectives in life. We are able to look at, situations and projects and difficulties. We look at them differently. We approach problems differently. We approach challenges differently. We all communicate differently. So that is the good thing. So in a way, you are not just looking at something from a particular perspective. You can look at things from different perspectives to bring solution, which is very good for us, because that is how you get growth and development and new innovations and new ideas. It is the fact that we are all different as people. But also the fact that we are all different as people means that sometimes, because of the differences, we don't get to understand, what the other person is saying or what the other person is going through or what they are trying to pass across to us, which is the entire reason why we have something that is called conflict. The only reason why we have conflict is because we don't get to understand, what the next person is saying or how things are going. Because when two metals rub with each other, you create heat, So that is why we have conflict. And that is one of the major reasons why we are addressing this in the first place. So just to give you a brief definition of conflict, it's just conflict resolution, so to speak. Conflict is differences, so to speak. In the simplest form of it, it's just differences. Difference in idea, difference in perspective, and difference in communication. But conflict resolution is the processes, they are the processes that you take, that you go through to resolve these differences. Sometimes it might be dispute, it might be disagreement, it might just be tensions. And some of them, they might be constructive, they might be destructive. I mean, even in policy making and legislation making for the government, to make things happen, you have to have conflict sometimes, because if you don't have constructive conflict, sometimes you don't get to go to the next stage. We all wear gold chains and, what do you call it? Big diamond necklaces and all of those things. We all have probably, I don't know how much you buy your wristwatches. Some people have 100,000 or 5 million, whatever, how much you spend on your wristwatch. Yeah, thank you. So, we all have all these beautiful things all around us, even the cars we drive, but it doesn't all come so smooth. Everything goes through a particular stress. It goes through conflict. During all those process of breaking down the metals and breaking down the materials and trying to, maybe it is for legislation, trying to pass a law, all those times you're saying, no, I disagree with section A, but I agree with subsection B or whatever. They are a form of conflict, but they are constructive conflict. And when you're able to go through constructive conflict and resolve them, there's a positive result that you get out of it. So conflict is good. But when you're not able to resolve conflict, that is the bad thing. Because you need conflict. Like they say, when two friends go in the room and they come together out smiling, something probably went inside the room. So you need conflict, but you need constructive conflict. Because when you have constructive conflict, that means you've been able to see each other in different perspectives. And conflict, a foundation of conflict is that there are different pillars to it. Part of the pillars to conflict is communication, which is like what usually causes problem. I don't speak Chinese, but I'm sure you would have a problem with the Chinese man if a Chinese man is just speaking Chinese to you all along. Even if he's trying to tell you maybe he's hungry or he's thirsty. But if he's speaking to you and he's so stern the way he's speaking, you don't even know what he's saying, until probably he uses some gestures, you will not understand. And you have conflict in your mind, trying to resolve what the person is saying. So conflict is good because it opens our minds to different perspectives. You have it at work, you have it doing projects, you have it in schools, and sometimes because we all have people around us from the young to the oldest. Because we are all not being taught how to handle conflicts, a lot of people go through these phases and they don't know the best way to come out of them. I know I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to cut short to some major important things I feel like will be needed that are skills. Because every single thing about conflict is all about skill. You can get out of any conflict if you have the right skill. Somebody has a gun pointing to you. If you have the right skill, you can get out of any situation. Almost any. Let me not say, be careful though, if somebody has a gun pointed at you. But there are important skills to go through conflict. One of the most important skills to go through conflict is being open to listening to what the person is saying. No matter how much experience you have, no matter what level of understanding you think you've gotten in life, what age you are in, oh, do you think you know better? No. One of the ways we resolve conflict is listening. Even if the person is a subordinate, even if the person is your child, even if the person is your coworker, is your employee, one of the ways to resolve conflict is listening. Even if the person is saying something that is completely opposite to what you have to say, or what they are saying is completely wrong. When somebody feels like within themselves that you've listened to them, in a way, you've gone a larger percentage in resolving conflict. Without you just talking, just keeping quiet and listening to what the person is saying. Somebody is boiling, you have a boss or you have your partner, your spouse just boiling and boiling. If you keep quiet and just listen to them, let them get to their finish point. You see, for everybody that is having conflict, when they get to their finish point, let them say whatever they have to say. When they are done, the energy comes down. What usually fuels conflict is when they are boiling and you're boiling. When two metals continue to eat, you continue to generate heat. So one of the things I would say is we got to learn to listen to other people. And I have to round up now. So the second one I have to say to you, to everybody, is communication. Find the best way to learn to communicate to other people. You know, as much as you listen to them, when you listen to them, you will be able to find the best way to communicate to them. And lastly, the last thing I will say is we must always be ready to compromise, make a compromise. You know, when you want to resolve conflict, after you've given the chance to listen to somebody and you communicate your own idea, find a middle way to compromise. So thank you for listening to me today. I know I could go hours on this, but I hope you begin to build your skills on how to resolve conflicts in all your areas of life. If you would like to connect with me, you can send an email, you can reach out to the phone number, and you can check out some of my social media channels. Thank you once again. If you have any questions, please keep your questions. We'll definitely have more time to respond to any questions that we might have. So without wasting any other of your time, I would like to hand you over to the next person that we have and the next segment. And we're going to be handling the youth empowerment segment. So for today, we have somebody that is experienced and very powerful that will be taking over this session. She's a prayer warrior. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mentor. She's a former assistant principal. She's a motivational coach. Everybody, please permit me to introduce to you Coach Marquita Kennedy. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Abraham. Phenomenal job so far, everybody. All right, I am Coach Marquita Kennedy, and I'm going to take you on a brief journey in youth empowerment. So let's get it started. All right, so I want us to dive into building smart relationships. So what does smart relationships, what do they look like? One, the S is for strength, okay? The M is for money management. The A is for affection. The R is relatable. And the T is time, because time is not always on our side, right? So we're going to start with the first letter in SMART, strength, okay? So what does that look like? One, not only as parents, but even as youth, we have to have skills. We have to build our skills, and we have to have regular daily routines. If you are not a role model to have routines and rituals in place, how are your children and even yourselves are going to be able to kind of mimic and go through that day to day? So one thing that I've tapped into is called Strength Finders. And that's a test that my children and I have taken, and even my parents have taken, so that we can identify what strengths actually activate who we are. Why do we make the decisions we make? Also, there's strength in advocacy. I am an educational advocate, so I've assisted parents and students with having a voice at the educational table. And so there's strength in that, in empowering your children to do the same thing, okay? Our next letter is money management. M, money management and being smart. Okay. But before we go there, self-image is very important. So here is a brief chart of what we did to align our strengths. One thing I found is that all of my children we don't all have the same strengths. Some of us have strengths like one another, but each of us kind of builds upon one another's strengths. So whenever we have a project or whenever we have a dilemma, we have our family meetings, we kind of tap into each other's strengths. So when we talk about kind of like when we're ready for a family trip, they're like, okay, mom, the first day, please don't have a whole itinerary. Well, I'm positivity, I'm woo, let's get it started, let's communicate. My kids are like, let's just relax the first day. So they help me to balance. Well, because I knew their strengths, that helped me to identify and step back, because we have 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to talk, right? So we have to definitely be great listeners when it comes to our children, okay? Okay. Now diving into the M, money management, PIN, the rule of 72. Make sure you Google it. Well, I am also a financial coach. And so with our children, one thing that we have to help them to make sure is that they are great with their money, because a lot of us did not grow up with a financial portfolio. So what is a PIN? A PIN is a protection income number. Okay. It's the amount of money you need to maintain so that your family can maintain and stabilize their lifestyle should something happen, because you know your birth date, but you don't know your death date. And then your FIN is your financial independence number. When you are ready to retire, let's make sure that that money is actually going to take care of you. So if you want to retire with $4,000 a month coming in, that means you need to accumulate $960,000. And I'll also show you about the rule of 72. Again, you have so many books out there, so many videos that can teach you about money management so that you can live that lifestyle that you want to live, right? Can I get an amen? All right. I hope y'all having a good time. I tell you, I can have a party by myself.
Amen.
All right. There we go. The next letter is affection. So the other day, my pastor for Father's Day, happy belated Mother's Day and happy belated Father's Day. My pastor talked about affection, and he said, affirmation from a father produces a lifetime of confidence and assurance in his children. You will give them the courage to face the challenges of this world. And he said, as fathers need to publicly acknowledge their children. One thing, I was talking to my dad earlier today, and he gave me some public acknowledgement and really filled my bucket. And it goes beyond just verbal expression. It's reasonable financial support, emotional support, adjusting your schedule. And that's not just fathers, but mothers. I mean, I know I have 3 children of my own. And so when you have multiple children, you have to know how to organize your time to provide them with the affection that they need. Going to those medical appointments, moms and dads, having the sense of integrity, going to those school appointments, not just going to parent-teacher conferences when there's something bad. My children, they're all honor roll students. So I go to conferences just to see, hey, what can you give me so that I can empower my child to do better and excel in the skills that you see in them that have been imparted, right? And having pride in what they do, okay? All of that is aligning with affection for your children, okay? Hopefully y'all getting some good nuggets here to not only empower your children, not only your biological, but the ones that have been gifted to you, whether they're your bonus children. Another thing that we tap into are the 5 love languages. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the 5 love languages, but it is a free test, right? It's about finding the time to know and speak those love languages with your family members, okay? So this receiving gifts, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and quality time. It shows that people have different types of love languages and personalities, and most times you speak your love language. So if you are a gift giver, then if receiving gifts is important to you, you're probably always giving gifts. But if that person's love language is words of affirmation, they don't want to get your gifts. They want you to affirm them. They want you to tell them they're having a great time. That you're doing well in their eyesight, right? So you have to find out what your family members' love languages are so that you can then speak that love language. That R is relatable. Are you a role model? Are you approachable? What do your relationships look like? Your circle, your relationships change from the time of infancy all the way to adulthood. Even me being an adult, I'm my parents' oldest child. I still look to them for certain things, and I have different parts of them. My grandparents, I said I'm a granddaddy and a grandmama's girl, right? And so I have 4 beautiful grandparents that are still well and able and alive, and I look to them as being role models, and they are all approachable. So that shows me as a parent and the youth that I'm responsible for that I also have to be approachable and a role model. So one of my brothers from another mother, his name is Substantial. In one of his latest hip hop creations called Salt and Pepper, which is he's showing his beard there, right? He said, basically, we have to do a better job of making growing older look better if we want the youth to look forward to growing older. So that means taking the trips, right? Taking the time to just enjoy life. We do things on social media, but let's be socially available to them in front of them, right? How do we, look at life before the people that are in front of them? Do they look forward to the lifestyle that is before them? Do we travel? My children, they help me with my outfits all the time. So they're like, look, you represent me. Let's get your hair together and let's go get a new wardrobe. Okay, that's fine. So help be relatable to the youth so that they look forward to growing older, because, we're losing a lot of our youth. And then the last piece is time. Communication. We have to take the time to communicate with our youth. I know it is sometimes hard. I know even with myself being an adult, communicating with my parents, my grandparents, sometimes I don't know the right way or the right direction to say things. Even being an entrepreneur, being able to communicate, you have to learn ways. So we have to take the time to learn how to be better with communicating, reading the books, watching the podcast, getting our affirming word, being prayer warriors, right? Putting the time in our schedule to be time managers, scheduling time to spend that time with your family and learning their likes and dislikes, and our extended family, our extended friends, and just managing our time, because we can't get it back. Just know that, just like Dale Bronner talked about, you are born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your decisions. So make sure that every part of the time of your life that you are making the right decisions, and just don't beat yourself up when you make the wrong ones. As parents, as those that are co-parents, as step parents, as those that don't even have children, but you are responsible for people. Just make sure it's okay to make mistakes. Just learn from them. Don't beat yourself up. There is no set manual for this thing called life. Okay. So hopefully you have gotten some great nuggets. I want to thank you for your time. Does anyone have any questions? I do have a couple of minutes if anyone had any specific questions about anything that I've shared, because I put my own timer on so I could be accountable as well. Does anyone have any questions on anything that I've talked about being smart? Hi, Takia. All right. Well, if no one has any questions, that is my contact information. So please take a screenshot. And I want to take the time to introduce another phenomenal speaker. I mean, she is, the short amount of time that I've met her, she is amazing. She is a consultant and a life coach. She just educates and empowers people with leadership, managing life's transitions and difficult seasons, and a purveyor of hope. She's going to be coming to us about personal development. All right. I want you to get your virtual hands together for Coach Delia Davis. Over to you, Delia.
I feel like I need to clap for myself with that introduction. Thank you, Marquita. That was awesome. Thanks, Angel, for having us. Thank you, everybody who's already presented before me. Really enjoyed your sessions. Excellent, folks. So I've been blessed to talk about personal development. If you can go to the next slide, Angel. So personal development includes personal growth. It's a transformative journey that empowers us to overcome adversity and reach our full potential. There are a number of other things on this slide that you can read, but I wanted to go, you can leave this slide up as I talk. So the first question I want to ask regarding personal development is, do you love you? How have you personally taken time to deal with the process of personal development? I am who I am by the grace of God, right? So I am a coach. I'm a leadership coach. I'm a mom. I'm flawed, but I'd rather say I'm imperfectly perfect. I'm a mother of 6, blended family. Didn't do all that through myself. I'm an ex-wife to 1. I'm an ordained minister. I'm a former school leader and educator for life. Woo, woo. Let's hear it for the educators. But there's so much more to me, right? Just like there's so much more to you. I've played many roles. I'm a godmother. I'm a follower. I played the role of the dummy. I've done that too. I've been the smart girl. I've been the good girl. I've been the fallen woman. I've been the abused woman. I've been a misunderstood woman and a woman of God, just to name a few. Now, my roles and my titles have come and go, just like your roles and your titles may come and go. But no matter what role I have played or what I do, the first thing is I have to love me. So if you are here with me today, then that means that you are a conqueror, an overcomer, and a victor. You cannot negate the things that you have gone through. So as you are developing yourself personally, the first step is, do I love me? And the way you learn if you love yourself is to accept yourself. So often in personal development and living, not even personal, in living, we often spend more time accepting and developing other people than we do with our own selves. I'm gonna let that marinate. Oftentimes, it's not until we have an earth-shattering, life-seizing event that we take the time to assess our own lives. And I'm here to encourage you to not wait for that moment. Today is the day that we should start considering our own personal development, which starts with loving ourselves. Part of loving ourselves is first forgiving ourselves. Remember, I said I played the role of dummy. Okay. Now, I know I'm not the only woman or person out here that has played that role. I know I'm not the only one who has made silly mistakes, who has reacted inappropriately, who has responded in ways that weren't productive for myself or my future. I know I'm not the only one. So the first thing you have to do is accept yourself and forgive yourself. What patterns of behavior have you developed that aren't serving you? Look at your relationships. If you want to know what patterns of behavior you have that aren't serving you, look at your relationships. Look at the people in your inner circle. Look at the people you draw to yourself. Look at the people who want to be around you. Are they, because sometimes who you have around you reflects who you are. So are the people around you the kind of people you want to be associated with in terms of looking at yourself? If somebody were to look at you and they saw this other person, would you be pleased that they say, oh, that's Delia? Right? That's Delia's friend. But then in their mind, is saying, oh, that must be Delia too. Right? So look at your associations, especially relationships with males and females and our interpersonal in that kind of relationship, because those are some of the best mirrors of who we are. Who do you find drawn to you? What kind of partner, spouse are you seeking, or people that you draw to yourself? So that's a key indicator of kind of like some patterns that we have that are not serving ourselves. Think about the time that you've done something and you said to yourself, I betrayed myself. Think about those times. That's another area that we need to forgive ourselves for. In this trajectory of life, there are always things that we do and decisions that we make. We all have made those kinds of decisions where we said, I betrayed me. We all have been in circles of people we may not have been comfortable, or we felt like we had to fit in, and we betrayed who we really want to be in our own selves. So part of personal development is forgiving yourself. So I want to leave you with hope. I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I've done these things and I'm stupid, I'm a dummy, and leave you there. Because I said again, we all have done them, but yet we're all sitting here today. Okay. We didn't die from them. Thank God. Right. So, so just remember, you're not alone in this process. So whether you're single or married, you're in a partnership, whatever your situation is, it's not so we think we are so unique in terms of the things we go through. But once we start opening our mouths and talking about it with other people, last week I went to a women's empowerment group. It's called the Real Women Rock. And we talked about the comparison game. And there were, I would say, about 20 or so women in this room, all walks of life, all levels of education, fat, skinny, tall, light, dark, medium, whatever. And not one woman could say that they've never compared themselves to another woman. So while we are going through things, we have to open our mouths, find a group of people that we trust, that we can talk to. Maybe it's a therapist. Maybe it's a pastoral counseling. Maybe it's a coach. Find someone to talk to process these things, to process how you're feeling, how you're behaving, the things that you're going through, because I promise you, they're not unique, right? Think the way we feel about ourselves when no one else is looking. When you wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning and your mind is racing, what thoughts are going through your mind about yourself? When you look in the mirror, what do you say? Do you look in the mirror for longer than 2 seconds? Do you like what you see? When you hear yourself talking, do you like your voice? Are you a people pleaser? Like, these are the things to consider in self-development, but there are many areas of self-development, and I want to touch on 5 of them. The first area I want to touch on is mental development, okay? What is happening with our brain and in our heads, our mental health, okay? We have to take care of our mental health. We have to do things that we have to do things that motivate and nurture our brain. We have to read. We need to get sleep. Sleep is critical for wellness. When we sleep, our bodies heal. When we sleep, our cells regenerate. So when we don't get enough sleep, that means your body doesn't have the ability to heal. And then your cells, new cells don't turn over and generate properly because your body wasn't at rest for it to do so. So our mental health is greatly impacted by our sleep. And we all know people who complain about insomnia. We all know that. Some of us on this call may have insomnia. Okay. So we know somebody, if it's not ourselves, who has insomnia. That insomnia, you know, when military prisoners of war are tortured, one of the torture methods is keeping them awake. You can lose your mind from not getting enough sleep. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're thinking that, oh, I don't need that much rest. Okay. Another area of development is social development. How are you with others? Who are you with others? Who are you connected to? Why are you connected to them? Are your relationships transactional or transformational? You know, as we grow, as I touched on earlier, our circles need to reflect who we are or where we want to go. Okay. And there's a saying that if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need to expand your circle. So who are you connected to? What is your reason for being connected to them? So that goes to the transactional versus transformational. A transactional relationship means you do something for me, boo, I got you. What have you done for me lately? In the words of the great Janet Jackson. Okay. So that's transactional. Many people develop interpersonal relationships because of that. We get into relationships with males or females because of that. What can they do for me? How can they make me look? How can they push me up? Right? A transformational relationship is the type of relationship that builds you up. You all build one another up. The scriptures talk about iron sharpening iron. Right? How can two walk together except they be agreed? Transformational relationships. These are the kind of relationships that we want to strive for in our personal development. Okay. The next area is spiritual development. This has nothing to do with religion. Religion has killed so many people. Religion has broken so many people. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about relationship. Do you have a relationship with a higher being? And I call him God. Okay. Is there someone greater than yourself that you rely on for strength when those around you fail you? Because guess what? We're human. We make mistakes. We don't always live up to the expectations of other people around us. Yes, even me, wonderful as I am, I let people down. Right. So I need to have a foundation. I let myself down. Right. We talked about self-betrayal. So we need to have a foundation with God, and so that the spiritual aspect of us is built up as well. Okay. What do you believe? What do you believe in? What do you believe? Do you believe you're more than a conqueror? Do you believe you're the head and not the tail? Do you believe that God has a purpose and a hope for your life? Do you believe he will give you beauty for ashes? Right? What do you believe? The next area is physical wellness, so physical development. What is the state of your body? Is it healthy? Is it weak? Do you love your body? Go back to the looking in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, are you in awe of what you see, regardless of the shape, size, color? Or do you love what you see when you look in the mirror? How do you show how you feel about your body? Now, that goes into a lot of things. It's about what we put on our bodies, but more than that, it's about what we put in our bodies. Are we eating healthily? Do we get exercise? Do we sleep? I'm going to say that again. Do we get sleep? Are we running these streets and not getting sleep? So it's very important. So how do you show? How do other people know you? See, people know what they can do to you by how you treat yourself. So are you valuing your body? Is it a temple, right? In my belief system, it's a temple of the Holy Spirit. So I need to take care of it. Now, granted, I've fallen short. I'm not perfect. I told you I was perfect from the beginning, but I am learning to love the imperfections of my body, my 55-year-old body. It's not the same as my 25-year-old body, by the way, but it's going to get there. So the last area is financial, and my sister coach, Marquita, spoke to that. What is your relationship with money? Our relationship with money many times come from our upbringing. How was our parents' relationship with money? Did our parents discuss money with us? Did we get an allowance and then told what to do with it or how to manage it? When I was growing up, we didn't get an allowance. My father just kind of splurged and did things and made things happen. It was 6 of us. My stepmother actually said that when she came into our lives, that she said we're the only family she's ever met where all the kids are treated like only children. Go figure. But I never learned about money management. I didn't learn about that till I became an adult. So what is your relationship with money? Our relationship with money also reflects our relationship with ourselves. So are we excessive? Do we save? Do we have self-control? Can we save and wait for a later time to spend? Can we save to work towards a goal? That all of these things are interrelated. Our relationship, our development mentally, socially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially. So I strongly encourage you all to get at least one goal in all of these areas. Journal about your progress toward these goals or lack of progress, because the authenticity and honesty with self is a part of self-love, right? Create a vision. If you're visual, I'm multimodal in terms of how I take information. I'm visual, auditory, kinesthetic, right? I'm all of these. I'm like, give me all of them. So I need to see it. So create a vision board to visualize your goals. You want to lose 10 pounds, put a -10 and then the LBS sign on that board, okay? Whatever it is you want. If you want to make $1 million by 35, by 45, by 55, by whatever age, put that down. Goals have to be finite. They have to have all of the SMART goals, right? Are they, Lord, I can't remember all the things on SMART goals. Lord, I can't remember. But look up SMART goals. They need to be smart. Right now I'm having a brain cramp. That's part of being 55. But look up, the goals have to be smart. I'm gonna keep trying. Measurable. I'm not going to do it. Look it up. So pray over and meditate on your goals daily. Commit your works to God and your thoughts will be established. So commit whatever you're doing to God. He'll establish your thoughts so you can get things done. So pray and meditate over your goals. Angel, could you go to that next slide? And the last thing I want to leave with you is when it talks about self. I saw this picture. This picture gave me life. Okay. There's so much goodness in this picture that I could talk about it forever. And I did a Facebook post on it. But I want to talk about the sign, stay in your lane. In personal development, the goal for personal development is to figure out your lane, figure out your giftedness, figure out where you stand in the big scheme. Thank you, Dr. Tanya Wise. Specific, measurable. Give me the A, Tanya Wise. I see it. Somebody in the chat? Give me okay. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. Thank you, Tanya Wise. Bless you, Dr. Wise. Okay. The point of personal development is finding your lane. You can only be great within the space and the capacity that God has given you. So there's only one you in the earth. In the universe, there's only one you. Even if they took your DNA and cloned you, because AI, there's a whole bunch of things happening in this world. Even if they did that, they still wouldn't be you. So the goal for personal development is finding out who you are, where you stand in this world, what you have to offer this world, what can you do in this world with the you that you are? Because there's only one you. Don't try to, you could be a terrible imitation, but you can be an amazing original. So the point for personal development, the whole bottom line for all of this is so that you can do good in the world. You can use your gifts to benefit others, to help others to grow mentally, socially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially. Okay. So that they too can attain and be who God created them to be. He said, I created you to have a future and a hope. And part of doing that is being who you were created to be. Fierce, strong, loving, graceful, good, right? All the things, a consultant, a coach, a financier, okay, whatever it is that God has called you for to be in this earth. So I just want to leave you with that. Stay in your lane, but to stay in your lane, you got to first find your lane and get into it. And the way you find your lane and get into it is to go through the phases and go through the areas of personal development, make your goals, live out your goals, and do good in the earth. Okay. So that's all I have to share with you today. If anyone has any questions, is my contact information. I'm on social media, Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I don't know a lot about Twitter. I've been on it for years, have not maximized on that. So if you find me, don't worry about it. You won't get much from me there. I wish everybody well. And I want you to know that no matter what is happening in your life, you are seen, you are known, you are loved, and you are respected by God. And my thoughts and hopes for you is that God brings people into your circle who see you, who know you, who love you, and who respect you. Thank you for your time. Does anybody have any questions or comments? I want to thank those in the chat that gave feedback. And thank you, Dr. Wise, for giving me the words for the acronym for SMART goals. And I'm now, my honor to introduce our next speaker, who will speak to us on healing and transformation and spiritual healing, which is so important. And this will be done by our coach, Kristina Thompson. Welcome, Coach Kristina.
Thank you so much. I am incredibly honored to follow you up, everyone, today. But Delia, you really brought it in, especially with respect to what I'm bringing to the table here with me today. So welcome you gorgeous people to this amazing event here, where we're bringing topics of self-mastery, self-discovery, and overcoming obstacles. I am a spiritual life coach, a proud mother of 5, domestic violence survivor, a property manager, and I'm honored to be here to share my story, a bit of myself with you. With that being said, I'm here to bring you interconnection, emotional well-being, and transcendence to begin, I'd like to give a little bit of an understanding exactly of who it is that I am and how I've come to where I am today. I will be, in about 3 weeks here, I'll be 43 years old. And again, an incredibly proud mother of 5. I have overcome so much in this existence that the one thing that I can tell everybody, that I bring to everyone, is that life is absolutely delicious. And if it's not, you better start to change your perspective, because you are given bitter, you're given sweet, you're given savory, you're giving all the different moments in life, and they are to be respected and appreciated, because it is part of the journey. With that being said, the quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions you ask. So in that understanding, I have come to truly focus on my interconnection, my emotional well-being, and transcending the overall existence of life. Some of the obstacles that have come down on me in this transition. And what I will say is that I have lost both my parents. I've spent a considerable time being homeless. I have actually lost a child to a terrible custody battle that I'm still in the middle of. And yet, I am so incredibly grateful to be here, to be in existence. I get emotional. I'm a water bag too, so if I start crying, just bear with me. To that end, what I have to tell you about today is interconnection, which refers to a deep and meaningful relationship that you have with yourself. Has nothing to do with anyone around you. Absolutely nothing to do with anyone around you. It has everything to do with you. I don't know if you're anything like me. I have been trying to fix me by fixing everything outside of me, trying to fix this relationship here, this person here, finding all these broken, beautiful people that, appeal to my brokenness. And so we trauma bonded, and it turned into domestic violence relationships and things that I my must takes. I don't call them mistakes, because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the things that I've done. And what I will say is that everything that I've done has been a must take, needed to do it. In that process, I have connected to myself. I was 30 years old, looked at myself in the mirror, and did not know who I was, what I was about, where I was going. I was completely and totally disconnected. I didn't understand that I was being breathed by divinity, as we all are. You don't breathe for yourself. It's happening for you. You don't beat your own heart. It's being done for you. That's the support. That's the love. That's what you've come from. That's where you are. That's where you're going. Always, forever interconnected. So to pay homage, to respect that, to honor that, I turned myself into me. I looked to me. What I've done as far as my interconnection is to determine exactly who it is that I am by pulling myself apart bit by bit. Through interconnection, you're enabled to understand your true self, your strengths, your weaknesses, your motivations. When you understand your weaknesses, no one can use them against you. When you stand in your imperfection, as Ms. Davis professed, then no one can use that against you. And so you're able to respond to when people actually do use that in a better way, in a more forthright way. Because when someone says to me, you're sensitive and you're a bag of water, I'm like, yep, that part. We'll cry in a heartbeat. Don't care who's there watching. Don't care who feels it. If you need to, you might need to cry with me. Let's cry together. We'll just have a whole moment. It'll be okay. We'll share. But with that being said, I had to foster an interconnection with myself through self-acceptance, embracing all aspects of me, including, and like I said, my imperfections. This prevented, so many things in my life as far as allowing the outside world to overtake me, to be overwhelmed by certain things that I was going through. Because again, life is delicious, but there's some bitter moments. And by fully connecting with who it is that I am and my authentic self, I can take on anything. At this point, I'm unstoppable and proud to be so. And I do so, and I do with it. It's through the grace of God. It's not me. I just put forward who it is that I am integral self. And that again comes through my understanding of my interconnection. The other aspect that I'd like to talk about today is emotional well-being. I had a conversation with a very close friend of mine, and everyone didn't grow up with a strong parental foundation, or having all of these wonderful moments and all of this support structure. I didn't. I literally grew up with the understanding that there was something wrong with me. I wasn't good enough, or I had to step to some sort of level of perfection to be appreciated and validated. What I basically told this friend of mine who had similar life, I said, I was born in 1980. In 1980, when I was born, I was given this suitcase, this bag. And I can see mine clearly. It's cognac color. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, all y'all about my age, if not older. It's cognac color with the big gold zipper. And I carried this bag around until I was 35. And I held it on my emotional body, not my physical body, but my emotional body was walking with this bag. I had to unpack it. I had to set the bag down, unzip it, and pull each. I'm sorry, I told y'all I get teary-eyed. I had to pull each piece out. And realize that it wasn't mine. I was carrying around all of this that was not even mine. It wasn't for me to carry. And yet I did, because I didn't know better. It wasn't until awareness, which awareness is the key to everything. It wasn't until I was aware of what was going on. I was made conscious as to what was going on that I was able to start to work on my emotional well-being, which enabled me to bounce back from setbacks, cope with stress, deal with adversity. It equipped me with the tools to handle life situation in a balanced and very constructive manner. When I was able to prioritize my emotional well-being, I developed a healthier and more fulfilling relationship with everyone around me. As Coach Davis was speaking, I realized the difference between transactional and transformational relationships. My tribe consists of transformation. I no longer give from my cup. If it's not overflowing into my saucer, you ain't getting it. My cup is mine. Okay. Because of my emotional well-being at this point, I am able to set boundaries. My favorite word is no, and I mean it. And when I say it, I mean it. And the reason why it's become that is because for the longest time, I was a people pleaser. I did what I felt that I needed to do in order to be able to establish relationships with people around me who saw that, used it to their benefit, and then casted me aside as soon as they were done, when I was done being a fool for them. I have grown beyond that. And now I have a deep sense of compassion. I have a much deeper sense of an understanding. I have a much deeper understanding of overall happiness and true fulfillment. And that came through my emotional well-being. And again, that was dropping that bag and going through every item and saying, this isn't me. This isn't mine. Alleviating my stress, putting that behind me, because yesterday is heavy. So I put it down. I walk every day. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. And all I'm trying to do at this point in stage in the game is to bring people where I am, because this place right here, sitting in this emotional gratitude, this well-being, this love of life, this appreciation, regardless of what comes, there's nothing like it. There's just nothing like it. And if I can bring one person to this extent of self, I've done what I'm supposed to do here. Just one, I'm happy with it. If I can move transition a whole fleet of people, then so be it, because we all deserve to feel gratitude. We do. And unfortunately, there's so many people that are walking around with the understanding that life is happening to them and not realizing that life is happening through them. And once you switch that on and realize that you can start to change, that things are happening for you, that you're constantly supported, then you can transcend this physical reality, this illusion that is based on your perceptions. And your perceptions a lot of times have been taught to you. They're not something that you've even developed on your own. Someone told you to do something, you believed it and took it to be true and never even evaluated it. At least that's what it was for me. So through my emotional well-being, through my interconnectedness, I have transcended. I am now in a place where I understand that everything on this gorgeous rock that we're currently flying through space on is screaming grow. Everything here is screaming grow. From the smallest cell to the blade of grass to you when you were in your mother's womb, it's all growth here. The only time that it truly gets incredibly difficult is when you sit stagnant and you stop and you refuse to continue to keep moving forward. The transcendence refers to going beyond our individual selves and connecting to something greater, a higher power, a collective consciousness, an interconnectedness to all being. Because again, you're being breathed by divinity. You're not doing it. It's being done for you. That's how loved you are. You're being breathed. By transcending our individual concerns, we tap into a higher sense of meaning and purpose. We become part of something larger than ourselves and find fulfillment in contributing to the well-being of others. Transcendence allows us to look beyond our ego-driven desires, attachments, and fears. It brings inner peace, so let's go of the constant need for control and embrace a sense of surrender and acceptance. That's the goal as far as I'm concerned. Self-acceptance is incredibly important. And as Coach Davis said, birds of a feather flock together, right? You got to walk with the ones that are around you. You be careful of who's in your tribe. Chickens don't hang with eagles. If you want to soar with the eagles, you got to get with the eagles and stay up there. If you're in the process, though, and you find yourself surrounded by chickens, then you got to reevaluate. Like she said, if you're the smartest person in your circle, find a new circle. Continue to keep growing. Continue to keep trying to find what it is that makes sense to you, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your creator to truly love you, to truly fall in love with all that you are. And I would like to actually somewhat wrap this up, because I could go on with this subject for forever. It's my true passion. I firmly feel that I am here to bring people to their own understanding of compassion, self-reliance, and appreciation of self, because like I said, you do definitely owe it to God. I can be reached via email, by phone. I'm here if you just want to talk. We're all going through stuff. And thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it back over to Angel.
Thank you so much to each and every one of my speakers. You all were phenomenal. I just want to personally give you all a round of applause. I thank you. Each and every one of you were very impactful on today's event. I just want to say that you all have made this event a success for me, okay? This is actually the first virtual empowerment workshop for the organization. And I handpicked each of you to speak intentionally, because not knowing if you know, you all have touched my life in one way or another. And as I build the foundation for Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated, I feel as though in order to introduce it to the communities, I needed strong, impactful individuals to speak on this platform. And today, those individuals were you. You all, just give yourself a round of applause, because you all did great. You all did great. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Right now, I would like to open the floor to anyone that has questions about any of the topics that you've heard. If you have a specific question for any of the speakers that have spoken today, please raise your virtual hand. We will take a few moments to answer a few questions. Is there no questions? Nobody have any questions? Nobody have any feedback? Does anybody want to say anything? If you can raise your virtual hand. Okay. I have one. Ms. Harmon, if you can you unmute yourself?
Good afternoon, Queens and King.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
How are you? I'm fine. Thank you for the invite. It was such an amazing platform that you put on today that my question prompts me to ask, when are we going to do this in person? I would love to be able to get the energy from, all of you all in the same place and, hopefully open it up to a lot more people who can attend in person. I would love to see you guys in person.
That is an amazing question. And thank you so much for that, Ms. Harmon. We actually intended to have this in person as an in-person event. However, there was an issue with the venue, and at the last minute, we had to schedule this virtual event. But I already scheduled it, I already put it out in the atmosphere, so the show had to go on, and this was the best way that I can do that. But I'm definitely going to plan before the summer's out to do an in-person event, inviting the same speakers to dive in a little deeper on the topics that we talked about today. So thank you so much for that. Are there any more questions, comments, concerns? I just also want to state that this recording will be posted on our social media sites. It'll also be coming to our YouTube. We do have a YouTube, actually. It's fairly new, but we're going to post this on our YouTube, which is Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated. Look for that sometime before the week is out to just review, or if you want to forward it to someone else, you feel as though this is impactful and you want to share it with someone, feel free. Okay. Also, there is going to be a, okay. Miss Pamela Austin says she has.
Hi, Angel.
Hi, how are you, Miss Austin?
I'm good. I don't have a whole lot. I came a little late. I'm actually on the way to work. I just want to say, congratulations. I've been watching you on Facebook, and I'm very proud of you. How you have developed a relationship outwardly, and you express it regarding, your relationship with God and your recent marriage. And you've just been, speaking to my soul. I don't really have time to be on Facebook a lot, but when I do hop on there, I do try to support you and, all of you do and all my other friends. So congratulations, Angel. I see what God is doing in your life, and you look amazing, and you're glowing. There's a shine on you, and God has he's watched you so far. I've watched you so long for development. I mean, we're all on a path of development, just like Kristina said, and it's about growth. And for a long time, I didn't know that. And I'm just now realizing, after a cancer diagnosis and everything, that I'm finally getting in touch with my purpose, and everything that I did in the past, all my mistakes were for growth. And we all have stories, and Kristina was very eloquent, and I want to thank her because she was transparent and she spoke to my soul. So I thank you. I didn't hear the other young ladies, but I'm pretty sure everyone did amazing. So thank you. Angel, keep doing what you do. Someone's watching, I'm watching, and this is just the beginning for Divine Services Foundation. Congratulations.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pamela. I do appreciate you and your kind words. Thank you.
Yes, sure.
God bless you. There is a feedback questionnaire or feedback document posted in the chat. So if you all can actually give us some feedback, let us know how we did. Let us know where we need to improve. Let us know what you want to hear. We will be doing much more. This is just the first of many of events that we are going to definitely present to the community. We are actually here to be pillars in this community to help individuals heal and transform. We all are experiencing mental health regardless. We wake up in the morning, we have an issue. We go to bed at night, we have an issue. We're breathing, we have an issue. We all are experiencing one form or another. We're here to help, okay? We're here to provide the resources that you need. So just know that Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated has generated another safe space for you all to receive the help that you need, the resources that you need, okay? So again, if you all can just take a few moments, go into the chat section and click the Google link. It should be a Google Doc link in there for you all, just to give your feedback, okay? And again, Pamela, to you, this link, this presentation will actually be posted on our YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel, Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated, so that you can watch the replay. Anything that you missed will definitely be there, okay?
Thanks, Angel.
You are most welcome.
Okay.
To my speakers, do you have anything else that you want to add to today's event?
Yeah, I do. I just want to say I really enjoyed listening to everyone today. To Pamela, Ms. Austin, who just spoke about a cancer diagnosis. I don't know where you are in your healing journey. And if you're not using those words, I encourage you to use that language, your healing journey. And that you used, I love that you said your cancer diagnosis. You didn't say I have cancer, that it is
Amen.
Yes, it is a diagnosis that and I'm believing God with you for healing.
Thank you. I'm passing through it. I'm passing through it.
That's right. That's right. The scriptures say that came to pass. Come on.
Amen. They said I had 6 more years in treatment, but I know that God is a healer.
But God.
And he healed my mom as well. We both had breast cancer. So he's bringing us through. We're both going through it. We're not staying in it.
Yes. I stand in agreement with you.
Amen.
Yes, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Thank you for this
God,
opportunity, Angel. Would you
You
say,
are
Pam?
most welcome.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was saying God bless you all.
Amen. God bless you as well, Pamela.
I would like to say.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach Keisha.
Yes, I would like to say something. I was a little nervous in the beginning. This is the first time doing the workshop. I want to applaud all of the other speakers. You poured into me just listening as a speaker. You really poured into me. I had to limit myself because I could have talked about everything that you said. It's like every piece that you said, everything that you added, I've experienced a piece of the whole personal development, spiritual part, rebuilding. I just want to encourage somebody that has been faced with, domestic violence, like get the help that you need. I forgot to say that, but get the help that you need to, get yourself out of what you're feeling. You are the number one person. You cannot, be in the good standing, be in the good condition for your children, for your mates, for anybody that's around you if you don't take care of you first. I just want to encourage anyone that's dealing with domestic violence, like do what you need to get yourself together to get out of it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to say that you're struggling. Don't be afraid to talk about the impact of it. I kind of froze a little bit talking about it because this is my first time actually talking about it on a platform. So I really didn't go into it much, but it's something that you can get past. It's something, but you have to open up. You have to be willing. You have to have that willingness. You have to be dedicated to your own journey. It's so many different things that play a part, but domestic violence is not your place. You seeking your value, you defining yourself and allowing God to help you do it. Remember that you cannot do it on your own. God has to be equipped in that journey. He has to play a part of the purpose. He has to be a part of the process. And when you add all of those things together, you will come out as this diamond. You will come out so unique. You will come out with so much understanding and so much confidence in who you are. And when you look back at the person that you were, the thing that's going to motivate you the most is realizing that you are no longer that person. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. That was a good piece to add, Coach Keisha. Also, I want you to share your platform because your platform is actually what pushed me to build Divine Services and Foundations. The vision was always there, but when I sat on your platform, you helped push me. You healed me in ways you don't even know. You understand? So I want you to kind of talk about your ministry as well. If you can just unmute yourself, talk about it, put it out there so that you can help other people. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here for healing and transformation. So I would love for you to share your information so you can heal people as you've healed me. I have a testimony. And I shared quite a bit of it with you on your platform, you know, and it's even more that can be shared, that will be shared, but that's to come. But please share more.
So I have my ministry is self-love ministry. Through my struggle of dealing with domestic violence, it birthed my ministry. One of the things when I was dealing with domestic violence, dealing with the grief, after losing my son, was the hardest challenge ever of my life. I felt like everything else I could manage, I could control, I could get through. But I had to be honest with myself, and I had to be honest with God about one thing. I can't get myself through this. God, I need your help. And I had to fall to my bed. I had to do whatever I needed. I had to isolate myself from people until I actually figured out how was I going to make this. And when I realized that God was the only answer to my struggle, I sat in my room. I went to therapy, but therapy was not, I did not want therapy to be something I depended on for a lifetime. And I asked God to help me create a system where I could go through and also help people as I go through. God gave me the word self-love and ministry. Just this year, he began to define the self as myself. I needed to seek the value of my self-love. Do not let the things that I've been through stop me from extending the love to others in ministry, that the struggles that I went through, the challenges of losing my son, the challenges of the wrong choices in men, the challenge of decisions that I have made, the flaws and the faults that I have attached to myself, the intentional pain that I did to myself, and the pain that I allow others to do to me. There was a purpose attached to all of that. So I had to go through everything that I went through to become the coach, to become the author, to become the evangelist, to become the coach, to become the motivational speaker. So now I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, Self-Love Ministry, where I talk. I do inspirational prayers every Monday. Every Monday I do prayers. Every Monday night we do a prayer call. We do an intercessory prayer every fourth Thursday. I have my first conference coming up July 29th at 3 p.m. Break Free Love Conference. We are coming into one building. Everything that we are holding on, we are claiming breakthrough. We're claiming release. We're claiming healing. We're claiming breakthrough. We're claiming restoration. Those demons, those spirits, whatever you have been holding on to, strongholds, we are asking God to let all of that go. So what is my journey and who am I? I am someone who battled domestic violence. I'm someone who pushed her way through domestic violence. I'm someone who pressed through domestic violence, but God brought me out just like that diamond. He brought me out so shining. He brought me out blossoming. He brought me out not even recognizing what I had deep down inside. And because of that, I am not afraid to talk about God. Because of that, I am not afraid to share my testimony. Because of that, I have a soft heart for those who say that they want to heal. I will take time to encourage. I will take time to pray because I understand the level of willingness. I understand how hard it is for someone to pick themselves up to even say, I want to change. I want to be free. I want to transition. That's a hard place. Someone that's passionate about self-love, someone that's passionate about pushing and pressing beyond the things that have held us the most. So you can reach out to me. I do so much. People ask, how do I keep up? And I tell them, when you have an Indeed, not one pill. Only God brought me through with no pill whatsoever. So I'm blessed. And I thank you, Angel, for allowing me this opportunity to start fresh with speaking out and more on a platform. I appreciate you just as well. Thank you again.
You are most welcome. And most importantly, I thank the Holy Spirit because I was actually led to pick each and every one of you that spoke today. So I thank God. The Holy Spirit is what led us. So thank you, each and every one of you, again, for joining our virtual empowerment workshop. Our contact information, let me see, I'll go back up here and put it, I don't know what happened. I lost signal. I want you all to get our contact information. Our website is here if you want to learn more about us. Our email is here, phone number, our social media handles. please screenshot it, reach out to us if you run into a situation or if you just need help for yourself. We're here to help. Okay. So if
Angel,
there are no,
can you
yes.
put your YouTube in the chat?
Yes, most definitely. It's
Thanks.
just the name. It's Divine Services and Foundations Incorporated, but I'll go ahead and type that in. All right. There was a comment from, we had some youth in the audience. We had a comment from Snowy Bird. She says, I love to hear these good testimonies. It's definitely a help, especially when walking. Especially when walking in my own journey with God. So that's amazing. That's actually one of the youth. That's one of my daughter's friends. She's actually a senior at Crossland High School. So thank you so much, Snowy, for your comment. Again, there is I think Abraham dropped in the YouTube in the comment in the chat section. So if you can please just click it, subscribe. As we post, you will receive notifications. And also, I think you're supposed to hit that notification bell as well so you can get our notifications as we post. So without any further, enjoy the rest of your day. This concludes our segment.